All right, welcome to another edition of the Hardwood Huddle. My name is Randy Zellea of backsportspage.com. Want to quickly give a quick shout out to all of our listeners out there, all of our followers. Thank you for making us the best part of this job, being able to talk about everything about the game of basketball. Back Sports Page, talking all sports. Wanted to give everybody a quick follow-up here. We are originally supposed to start at 4 p.m. today with Bo Outlaw. There was a little bit of scheduling conflict. Bo will be here at 4 p.m., but it'll only be on for a couple minutes. Bill Ingram will be joining us shortly, and we will discuss Lakers and the Miami Heat. Interesting way the series has gone so far. It is a 2-1 Laker lead. The way the Miami Heat started off this series, they seemed very, very passive, very, very aggressive in Game 3. Now have a 2-1 hold to dig out of one more game. I don't know if you want to really, poke the bear with LeBron James the way you have in this situation. I find it very interesting that LeBron James and company are struggling the way they are right now. It seemed like the Lakers were not in it. They were not there. It just seemed like on Sunday night, it was the Miami who was dictating the whole situation. And I just think that at this point in time, the Los Angeles Lakers look like they might be in Game 4 tonight. Looking forward to seeing on if the Lakers can bounce back or if the Heat can come back and take advantage of this. I think that they should, they could, and they would. They came out and they had that growl, that the last Tyler Hero, and that growl, that snarl. Look, that's the attitude they have to have. You have to go at the Lakers. You have to go at Anthony Davis. You have to go at LeBron James. You have to go at them to beat them. And I think that's the way we view the Miami Heat as for the Los Angeles Lakers championship run. I actually think that the Lakers believe that too. I honestly believe that the Los Angeles Lakers felt that they had this thing in the bag. The way they dominated, they absolutely dominated the Miami Heat in the first two games of this series. Shoe ugly. It was. I don't know what else to say. It was bad, and there's nothing else to say in that situation. But you just hope, you want to just have some hope that the Miami Heat can make this a series, and it's just a situation. So, like I said, the Hardwood Huddle can be found at Back Sports Page all the time here at backsportspage.com. All of our past episodes, like I said, we had a little bit of timing issues that happened. So with Mr. Outlaw, he originally thought we were doing this at 4. I'm waiting for Bill Ingram as well. So we are going to again get this rolling today as well. So yeah, man. And the other thing that I found really, really, really interesting was the simple situation that we have going on right now with the Doc Rivers situation. Doc Rivers out in the Clippers. Now he is a member of the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, so that's where we are. That's where we are at. So that's what's happening right now. Apparently, I'm going to be on my own for today. Mr. Ingram will not be joining me. Yeah. Okay, so let's welcome in Bo Outlaw. Bo, how are you? Randy Zellea, Back Sports Page. I'm so sorry about the time confusion. I'm usually joined by Bill Ingram, but with some timing difficulties with him as well. So I'm gonna take the I'll take the shot. So I got to ask you. You made a transition into the office from being a player. How was that transition for you?
Oh, the transition was easy. Actually, they made it easy. It was something I was doing as I was playing a lot in the community. So going from playing to the community was a part of me already, so it was kind of easy. But they made it easy as well too.
Well, I gotta tell you, I've seen you play over the years, man. You've always been a tough cookie as far as you used to kill my New Jersey. I just want to let you know that I used to beat up my guys all the time over there. And you know, though I forgive you for that now because but like, what was it like? Being on the court, being being around in that locker room atmosphere, being one of the guys again. Like you said it was easy to make that transition, but being one of the guys and now being the guy who passes on the advice, what's that like for you now?
Being one of the guys was a great thing. Being one of the guys pass on the advice is also great because when I was a guy playing, there was back then the guys who were older would always try to give you advice and help you out. So that was another transition that was easy. You're just trying to pass it on and pass it forward because you're never coming into a situation knowing everything you need to know. That's when the veterans come in, and I had a couple of good veterans around me to help me.
It's funny you say about the good veterans. If I had to ask you, I'm not going to tell you the people you didn't get along with because that's a no-no in this business. But who are the people who you got along with, you consider good friends, and who also gave you some great advice?
I got along with pretty much everybody, but every team you have different guys. So when I got in the league, Mark Jackson was one of the guys that tried to help me out. Then as I started going along, I got to Orlando. Darryl Armstrong was a guy that we were trying to both, I guess, get on the court, get more playing time, and we still talking. Matter of fact, that whole team in Orlando, in Phoenix, I played with Penny here and played with him there. And at that point, I started becoming one of the older guys, so I started giving advice. So by then, it was my turn to start giving advice. But it's always guys in the locker room that you can talk to or gravitate to. Like I said, Monty Williams was another guy when I was in Orlando. Like I said, that Orlando team had a bunch of guys who helped one another. It wasn't all about me; it was about we, and we were willing to sacrifice something to benefit. And it was a real great time.
Also, one of the things that I always admire about you is you always found a way to be sort of around where the playoffs were. You always find yourself in the playoffs. Can you talk about, especially since we're in the NBA Finals time right now, as you can tell on the screen, our co-host Bill Ingram just joined us as well. And
what's up, Bo?
What's up? How you doing?
Can you talk about the pressures, the difference between playing in the regular season and the playoffs, the pressures, the intensity? What was that like for you being on the court during those crucial times?
It's different seasons. Playoff is a whole nother level. You're playing one team, either 5 games or 7 games. I was in both of those series where it started 5, then you play 7. So when you play on a team that many times, they know your offense. So it comes down to playmaking. What plays can you make? And can you stop them from making plays? And the intensity level went up more than one notch because think about it. It's only 16 teams that are left playing in the regular NBA playoff season. You got 8 in the East, 8 in the West. So you got 16 total teams playing. So everything's focused on that. So everyone in the world is watching you, and the intensity goes up. So the referees are trying to limit the calls, and those physicality goes up, and the skill set goes to another level. You thought a guy was good, and you realize he's great. You're like, whoa, this guy can really play. So things just changed on the playoffs.
Isn't that really the key? Because during the regular season, you can have a great team, and I'll use the Phoenix Suns as an example. The Steve Nash Phoenix Suns had a great team during the regular season, right? the great regular season team, but then when the playoffs start, they never quite had the Shaquille O'Neal, the Akeem Olajuwon, when you absolutely had to have the play to win the series, to win the game. They didn't have quite as many, as though there were great guys on that team. They never got the championship because.
Well,
but you got to have 2 or 3 of those guys.
Watch this. In that particular series, if you recall, we should have beat San Antonio because if you recall the series before that against Dallas Mavericks, that's when Joe Johnson, as I say, broke his face. That's when he fell on his face, and his whole face was smashed, and he missed, and he ended up coming back way sooner than he should have came. So he I don't know if you recall, you can look it up. He fell in the Dallas series and messed up his face. If he doesn't get hurt, I'm thinking we win in that series against San Antonio because we played Dallas and it went to 6 games. And I'm trying to recall, we played on a Friday, I believe, and it went to double overtime in Dallas, game 6, and we ended up winning. Steve Nash played. That's when he thought he was good, and he came to great. He played out of his mind. So we get back probably at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4. Have Saturday recover, and then have a Sunday, maybe 3 o'clock game. So your recovery was real short, and our bench was already short. We were playing 8 guys, maybe 9 guys. So that rest time and that series against Dallas was extremely tough. But to your point, I know exactly what you're talking about. You need guys that can go to, and we actually had them. Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire were they were 2 of the best in the league at the time. Obviously, Steve Nash is MVP.
Yeah, can you? Mm-hmm. I was about to say, was there a better starting 5 lineup than that? Steve Nash, Joe Johnson, Quentin Richardson, Amari, like that. My God, that was if you can't double anybody, you could not double on that with that lineup.
The thing about that team was that we were before our time. To look at that team that you just named, now that's called small ball. If you look at now, we were still playing against Tim Duncan. Think about it. A legit post guy. Then you have Paul Gasol over here and Shaquille O'Neal. So now we were before our time because everybody on that team was 6'9" and under. You know what I'm saying? So
if you were playing in the NBA today, if that team was in the NBA today with all those guys in their primes,
that's a championship team setup right there.
Well, also the culture at that.
I forgot about Joe breaking his face, though. You're right.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
I was just saying I had forgotten about it. Even though I covered that series, I was in Dallas, covering that series, and I had forgotten all about Joe breaking his face.
It happened in Phoenix.
Yep,
it
that's
happened
a good point.
Phoenix, probably game 4, maybe 3 or 4. And game 6 was the toughest game in Dallas. You remember that game? It was like a double, triple overtime. It was a long game. Oh man. So
I was busy crying about the Nets struggling at that point. So it was that's where I was at that point. Can you talk about around that time also? We've been talking with a lot of guests about The Last Dance, with the Michael Jordan special that was on ESPN, and the culture of the NBA on the way it's been. And you're around today's players a lot more than I guess Bill and I are. And obviously you were around the culture towards the tail end of Jordan's time. How much has it changed, do you think?
What part? Because it changed a lot. What part are you trying to
Well, I guess Jordan. I always had the mentality is I ain't teaming with you. I want to beat you mentality.
He was most definitely. Yeah, I think when he stepped on court, he was going to be the most competitive guy. That was probably his MO. If you looked at Mike, the way he played the game, I don't think a lot of people pay attention. He wasn't never the man at halftime. He never had 30 points and 50 points. Every once in a while he would. He might have 12. It might be Scottie Pippen might be leading scorer. Steve Kerr might be up there. They might have 4 guys with 10. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the game, you knew who the man was.
Yeah. I thought the only person who knew at halftime was LeBradford Smith, apparently. But
that was a personal thing right there. Don't say too much to that man, and you'll be fine.
But also just I guess the mentality of in this league today, I'm a very old school guy. I still believe the center, the power forward, the small forward, the 2 guard, and 1 guard. You work inside and you work inside out to get the best shot available. Now you have guys coming down the court with 11 left on the shot clock shooting threes while they have 2 guys on them. And I don't understand the mentality of that. I wanted to get your take on that mentality of today's game on what you think, if you were the commissioner, what you would do to change the league today.
That's what people want to see. Think about it. You want to see points. No one think about that. That's why the league changed. It went from the physicality, the banging, to the point scoring, because the game, let me think, when was that? The 97, 98, 99, from 98 to about 2002. If you ever played a game in the East Coast, which was in New Jersey, the final score could have been 87 to 83.
Yeah.
But if you go to the West Coast, the final score could be 110 to 115. The East was they kept saying finesse in the West, beast in the East. You're gonna go to the East, you're gonna get banged up. You're gonna get hit. This just was the mentality. You knew you had New York Knicks, you had Miami Heat, Alonzo Mourning, you had Indiana Pacers with the Davis boys and Rick Smith. You know what I'm saying? You had guys out here who was gonna lay you out. Milwaukee Bucks. They had Irvin Johnson, you in the paint, you were gonna feel it. Yeah. Now, like I said, Phoenix Suns was before their time. We was in practice, and if you didn't shoot the ball with 14 seconds left on the shot clock, then it was a bad possession. So that is what people like to see. A lot of threes, a lot of points. Grady, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
If you're a soccer fan?
No, I'm not really. I don't watch too much soccer. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know why? Because this score is gonna be 1-0.
Okay. That's fair.
People like scoring. It is what it is. Baseball fan, right here at the bottom.
Hockey's the same way.
You appreciate baseball because you want to see a great pitching dude, but most people, if you go to a game, you want to see a lot of runs.
Right.
It's all about getting points, and that's what society is based on. It's not. Now, as an athlete playing, I don't want all them points. I'm gonna get upset you keep scoring on me like that. So it's you couldn't change it. The commission actually changed it.
When I was
in accommodate.
When I was in
Bill, you cut out real quick.
You cut out.
Repeat
that question.
I was in college in St. Louis. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
When I was in college in St. Louis, the Blues, I grew up in Houston. You can't hear me?
Yes,
no, you can hear it.
University of Houston.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, he was just giving you the sign for the University of Houston.
Well, I went to college in St. Louis, and the Blues got Gretzky, and they already had another guy who was all-time great, and I can't say his name because it's hockey. Tried to watch that game because I thought, this guy, it's exciting, and it nothing. I was like, I watch this sport. I just can't.
Yeah, but Bo, you bring up a really good point though about wanting to score points, and that's why I think it made the bubble the most intriguing thing down in Orlando this year for the NBA comeback, is because the scoring was up for every team. Everything was up, and I think if this year's NBA Finals, you would have told me back in September that the Miami Heat were going to be scoring 118 points for majority of their games in the bubble, I probably would have called you a liar, because no one's expecting Tyler Hero to come out here and dropping 30 something points on the Celtics. No one's expecting Jimmy Butler to be the best all-around player in the game. But
I don't know about that one. He's pretty good. So that one is different.
Apparently LeBron just learned this too. So.
I don't know.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I think that, like you're saying, with the points means something, being able to score a lot of points.
Anthony Davis, to me, has been.
Go ahead, Bill. Yeah, I think that,
Anthony Davis is the guy that has really risen to the top as far as the best.
You have a great point about Anthony Davis. I can address that as well. If you look at it, Anthony Davis in New Orleans was really good. If Anthony Davis in New Orleans doesn't get hurt during the course of his careers or his seasons, he's probably one of the better players. But if you notice, every year in New Orleans, he got hurt. Did he ever play like a whole season in New Orleans?
No, I think he played only up to 70 games
Yeah.
So,
in a season.
so therefore, that's why he dipped down. Because if you look at him start the season, oh yeah, he was here. Then he get hurt,
Yeah.
get back in rhythm, and then by then you're not playing for nothing.
Mhm.
Then your enthusiasm, motivation is gone. So he's always been a pretty good player. It's just timing situation. In LA, he has a pretty good guy on his let me rephrase that. He's on the shoulder of a good guy.
A little bit, I got to ask you about another guy who, when you first came into the NBA back in '97, who was sort of on his way down. Bill is a very big Houston guy, and his name is Hakeem Olajuwon. And one of the guys who I always say to everybody is Hakeem. I felt has been the best center in the NBA since Abdul-Jabbar retired all the way till now. I think because he was the most complete player. He was able to take you inside, take you outside. He was going to defend you by the 3-point line if he had to. He'll take you down in the post. Defensive Player of the Year, scoring champion. Have you ever seen a more dominant 7-footer at that position since then? Since he was playing, and do you think that more 7-footers should be learning to play the game like that?
The game is not built like that now. Can they be skilled? What I say is they can have that ability to be well-rounded, meaning make jump shots, play defense, have a post game, which too many big men don't. So if you have a post game, that's going to make you a lot better. But then you can make jump shots. You can defend the perimeter. You can defend the post, and that makes you an all-around player, and that makes you pretty good. Like you said, Hakeem I'm a fan of Hakeem because, once again, a Houston guy. So I went to University of Houston after him, of course, but he paved the way, and I'm proud to say I played at the same school he did.
I got to tell you, Bill has covered Hakeem. He sat down with him and learn from the mind from the madman himself.
Hakeem is the man. I'm a fan of Hakeem.
I grew up watching, Hakeem and Clyde. And when Clyde was traded back to Houston from Portland, that was the Cinderella story of my fandom of the NBA. Was still just a fan watching the game. But watching, Orlando when Shaq and Hakeem went head-to-head, watching that was really a tale of two styles of play, because Shaq will back you down, up on you, on your head, and Hakeem, nobody's going to bow down on Hakeem. And right. I think, to me, we've talked about this with different players on the huddle too, that Shaq may have benefited from the fact that he came along at a time where that kind of center was gone, except for just Hakeem, and Hakeem was towards the end of his career, because then the rest of the league was trying to play that finesse center, and Shaq was able to just kill people inside.
Well, he had some big centers. They just were not as skilled as Hakeem. Let's see, you had guys like Mutombo was still around.
Yeah.
Right. You had Alonzo Mourning. That Patrick Ewing, that were all coming to the end, but he caught them David Wright. He caught them his beginning years were their prime years, like they were getting ready to transition. But when he started dominating, they just had big guys, not skilled big guys. There's a difference. Like he was the only skilled big guy that was really out there.
Right.
That was a threat in the post. So if you give him the ball, you know something's going to happen rather than, oh yeah, this is just to make a play. Yao Ming was one big who was there with him, but he didn't move and had a power shot. So he moved pretty well, actually.
If I had to say to you,
man, he kept getting hurt. Yao just couldn't stay healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. Bo, if I had to ask you to pick your 3 favorite teammates, I know you don't want to leave anybody out, but if I had to say your 3 favorite teammates,
that
3 guys,
I'll be on one team. Darryl Armstrong is going to be at the top of that list. Ben Wallace is going to be on that list. Like all of them could be on Orlando Magic, but I played with some good guys. Earl Watson was Monty Williams. Like I had this team in Orlando was probably the best team I played with. You're gonna say you got by wins, yes, but by teammates, it would be Orlando. But by wins, it's gonna be in Phoenix, by sure, by far. But I mean, I had some good teammates out there as well. That team we were winning like a lot of games, We were scoring 100 points in 3 quarters, which was not normal. Now it's normal.
Can you also give the? I want to think as a fan. I'm not going to think as a media member. I want to think as a fan. Can you give the insight what it's like to be playing in front of 20,000 people? Is there ever any nerves on that aspect of it?
Your nerves are your first probably week or two. Like preseason's cool, but regular season is different. And once you get through that first week or two, it's all about you. You locked in with your teammates. You're there for your team. And then the nerves are gone. That first week, I got called up on 10 days, so I was like, hey, I had nothing to lose. So I was just out there trying to win it and earn me extra time in the league. And I was like, oh, well, let's go play it. But that first week is a little different.
Well, and especially you just said that too. You got called up on a 10-day. What is that experience like, knowing that you have nothing to lose? You can hit that shot, wave to the crowd, be like, "I'm only here for a couple minutes, so I'm gonna make the best of this." Or is it?
Most definitely not hit the shot and celebrate because they're like, "Oh, we don't want this guy."
No, I know.
No, I know what you're saying, but you're a 10-day guy, so you gotta come in with the mentality of work, and fit in. Because you don't want to try to be the guy to do too much. You want to be the guy to fit in and do whatever they need you to do. So they're like, oh, yeah, we can use this guy. And if they need you to play the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, whatever they need you to play, you're willing to do, give yourself opportunity. And that's what it's about.
Can you also tell everybody what your role now is with the Orlando Magic?
The community ambassador for the Orlando Magic. So I do, in a normal year, about 400 appearances a year around the city.
Wow.
It's just giving back to the city of Orlando where I live and I call home. Yeah, so we're just trying to make this city a better place for the kids and the future of all people who live here. And it's just trying to let them know that we appreciate the support they give us, and we try to support them just as much as they support us.
Wow, so that's 400 appearances. Wow, that's it. And also, what advice do you give to the younger players that are on the team as far as being out in the community?
You're doing 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, sometimes you do. So I mean, and to say that some days you might not work for a week, you might have one event, but then for 4 days straight, you might have 3 events a day. So it's a very hectic schedule. And what you tell the guys about the community is, this is where you live and where you play right now. So you're trying to make the best. You want them. If you can get to the community and give to them, and they support, and you're showing them that you support them, they will support you in return, and therefore that causes more fans, more excitement, and you get a little bit more confidence because they're cheering your name. So it goes hand in hand, just giving back because we're in a position to, but it also builds relationships for the long term.
So is it almost like you always say to them, you want to leave this place better than you found it type of mentality?
Most definitely, because you come one way and leave this a different way, and you can feel that you've done something.
And especially now, too, because from what I'm understanding is there's a lot of alumni from the Orlando Magic who always seem to come back around. I know Nick Anderson was. Sorry, Bill. Go ahead. Sorry, Bill. Go right ahead. I apologize.
He went out again.
He went out again.
That's okay. I was just trying to. Does it add to the importance? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I turned my camera off to try to see if you could hear me without the camera.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. It seems to me that now that the teams are changing so much. Okay, good. Since the teams are changing so much in terms of the players that are active on the team, does it make it that much more important that the legacy players help fans to identify back with the team? Because you guys, and you especially, were a part of the most successful time in that franchise's history.
That's 100% facts because, like you say, players are going in and out coming. But if you got something that the people can relate to, like, oh, you guys, I remember you in this. So we're transitioning from when we played to them, the older generation knowing us, but we're also being in the community to the younger kids so they can grow up seeing us. And we are the connector between the players and the community. So when they go out, they feel comfortable with us and can talk to the kids. And that's how the relationships get built. And you get fans that you're trying to have for a lifetime, because those little kids are going to remember, oh, when Bo Outlaw came out, he brought Jonathan Isaac. Oh, well, that guy's cool. So now they're going to support the Magic because Jonathan Isaac showed up. But then they remember, hey, you that old guy that bought the – yeah. And so every time they see me, they will say, where's Jonathan Isaac? Oh, he's not here today. So that's how they will remember me.
You're not supposed to refer to yourself as the old guy, though.
Listen, when I'm standing beside Jonathan Isaac and he's 23 years old, yes, I'm the old guy, most definitely.
No joke, Bo. I had a situation where I'm mentoring some younger media members, and I covered the New York Football Giants, and I brought them to a couple practices, and so one of the players came over to us and said, he goes, how old are you? And I told him, like, I'm 40. And he looked at my the young man who I bought me. He goes, yeah, I'm 21. And I just looked at him. And he told him what year he was born. I'm like, oh my God, I graduated high school.
Exactly.
I graduated high school that year you were born. And the player looks at me, just goes, you're old. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess,
There you go, right there.
So I'm like, all right. I said, I'll be over here crying. Go ahead, ask your questions. So, Bo, I know we only had you for a short amount of time with the mix up with times, and I do apologize for that, but I know you have, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Instagram at Bo.Outlaw 45 on Instagram, and the Orlando Magic Community Ambassadors on Twitter. So it's a good time. Like I say, Nick Anderson, me and him do this together, and we do a lot in the community. And this, like I say, got two older guys doing this, so the older generation transition to the younger generation. So it's a great thing to try to benefit.
And now I get to put you on the spot. Who wins tonight? Game 3. Oh, sorry, Game 4. I mean,
so
Game
Bo,
4.
I got a last question.
Go ahead, Bill. Go for it, Bill. Oh, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
I got to throw in a last question because I need to know if you're still doing all your mailing from the pack and ship over there in Metro West.
Nah, it's closed, man. It's not even there. Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Oh, is it really?
It's not even there.
My sister, I got a half sister.
I'm so sorry. He's been in and out the whole.
Quite okay.
My half sister, her mom used to own that store at the time.
I was there all the time. So yes.
All right, Bo. Hey, thanks again, buddy.
Real quick, Game 4. Who do we got tonight? Lakers, Heat. I think if the Heat are going to do it, they need to attack like they did in Game 3. Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler were that snarl that Tyler Hero showed at the end of Game 3.
That was.
He needs to be there.
If the Heat win tonight, it's going to start getting a little iffy for the Lakers, because the more games they play, the more wears on LeBron and AD. That's your two lead guys. So their energy level starts dropping. They got to get up for this every game. So this is a crucial game. If this game is won by the Heat, it's going to be a rough one for the Lakers. But Lakers going to probably respond to the little snarls and, that little chip on their shoulder. They don't need no fuel to the fire, but they just added. So they're going to come out feeling some type of way. So it's going to be a pretty good game tonight.
Yeah, I really felt that Miami, even though they were
coming from the side over here saying the Heat are going to win. The missus the Heat are going to win. So I guess that's who's going to win. So she said Heat win, the Heat win.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when they came out the other day, they unlike games 1 and 2, they attacked. They were more aggressive in Game 3, but they were also taking smarter shots. A lot of more drive and kickouts and more I just felt like they were moving the ball a lot more, and they weren't afraid to take hits from the Lakers. When Rondo was going to the basket, they weren't, they were stepping in, trying to take charges. They were just going at the Lakers. I just felt the aggressiveness was a lot more from Miami.
Just think about this. This is 4 things. If they would have been down 3-0, this is hard to come back from.
Right.
2-1, this right here, they got a lot of confidence over here because this can easily be 2-2.
Right.
So this right here is a lot of confidence. This would have been no confidence at all.
Right.
So they had no choice but to respond. If the Lakers won that game 3-0, it's over. This would have been the championship game.
Yeah. Yeah, and then not only that too, but there's a certain points in game 1 and game 2, the way Miami came out, you could have felt like the tide could have been different. So, and then if you add Dragic back into the lineup, you never know.
Yeah, but like you say, that's a tough situation. We've been in that situation where you bring an injured guy back. Does it change the flow? Does it change the responsibilities? Does it change the mindset? So that's an iffy situation too. So we just gotta see who's going to be coming out there. And as you say in cards, play the hand that you were dealt. So who shows up, we're going to play.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Bo, listen, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Both Bill and I really do. Thanks for coming into the huddle. And again, apologize for the miscommunication there, but it was an absolute pleasure. And thanks, Trish. And next time we're down in Orlando, lunch is on us.
Oh, yeah, I like that part, in the huddle.
Thanks, Bo. We appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Bo.
Bo Outlaw, live in the Hardwood Huddle. Bill Ingram, who I guess my communication didn't work with Bill today either, because Bill came on last minute too. But listen, I appreciate you coming on, and that was fun. Yeah,
hey, we worked it out though.
Listen, our string of guests. We're becoming an all-star team here. I like this. This is good. So, Bill, we have
me too. And guys that bridge the gap.
Well, listen, we have some good guests coming on. We want to try and take everybody, all of our listeners, into the world of the NBA and into the huddle. So we have some great guests coming up. Don't want to tease it yet until everything's official, but we will be back next week. If anything, just to break down the NBA Finals. Bill, give me a winner for tonight. What do you think? 2-1 right now, Lakers, but the Miami Heat with a big win on Sunday night.
I think momentum matters, and how healthy are the Heat? That's obviously a big question mark. But, LeBron and Anthony Davis have responded. They've been challenged. And so how challenged do they feel right now? I think it's very important for the Lakers to get this game. But the momentum, as you say, the Miami has surprised us all season long. So, and I'm gonna go Bo. Let's say Miami tonight. Certainly, if they don't get it, it's all over, and you can just hang another jersey in the or another banner in the rafters at Staples. I guess they'll hang it at Staples Center. But anyway, yeah. But I'll go Miami.
They'll hang it in the bubble. That was
right.
One thing. One thing I didn't get to ask Bo is, if I was going to ask him, he feel that the pressure in this game is more on the Lakers than it is on Miami, even though Miami's down a game. But I think the Lakers have the pressure because if they lose, it's a series again.
Right, and you've got to win it for Kobe this year. There's a ton of pressure on the Lakers. Miami wasn't even supposed to be here. If they don't, they've got some growth. Some of their young players really grew exponentially. There's a lot of promise for next year. For the Lakers, it's not about next year. Where's Anthony Davis going to be next year? Hell, who knows really where LeBron's going to be next year, the way things happen around him.
He'll be in next season.
They got to be all in. This is the year to win it for Kobe. And as much as I'm not a Lakers fan, I did really like Kobe. I had the opportunity to have a good working relationship with him. And again, not a Lakers fan, but if they win it for Kobe, great. That's their motivation. But hey, Miami, you're on house money at this point. You're already further than you were supposed to be.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. And, when the NBA comes back, I know they haven't even really set a date yet, but when it does come back, the league is going to look a lot different. And this, I will tell you,
very much
one of the great stories in sports, and I'm going to say, what if? Wouldn't it be a great story in sports if Miami Heat were able to come out and win a championship with only Jimmy Butler as the household name in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden you have these great role players and developing stars like Tyler Hero come out and help win a championship for the Miami Heat without and beating down the big bad Lakers, who there's a good portion of the basketball community that does not want to see the Lakers win a championship this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's really the truth. All right, Bill. So we will do this again coming soon. We'd like to thank Bill Ingram and Bo Outlaw. Thanks back sports page. I was going to say thank myself, but I don't know if I should do that. So we'll be back.
Thanks, Randy. Thank you to Randy. It looks better if I thank you.
As I say, I'd like to thank myself for all the great things.
Okay, I'm the greatest there, and
well, listen, we both know you're the supreme leader, so I'm Han
right,
Solo.
buddy.
You're Kylo Ren. Zeke. Okay. All right.
All right.
Bill
On the huddle.
He's Bill Ingram. I'm Randy Zellea. See you then.